the new iOS 10 is so great. Even if you have an older iPhone or iPad, you're going to get lots of new features. Some of the features we're going to show you today require an iPhone 6S or later because you have to use 3D Touch. But there's some really great hidden stuff in there.
There really is. So should we get right to it?
Yeah.
Okay, we each have 5. You have some extras.
I sent you extras because I felt guilty about some of them because I've shown them before.
Okay, well, this first one is how you can respond to earlier messages in a conversation. If you've ever been in an iMessage conversation and you ask someone a question and then they, are asking you a question at the same time, and then you get really confused, because someone's answering a question that happened way earlier. So this way you can respond earlier to earlier text messages. So
that's really kind of an interesting idea. I like it.
Yes. So
you have a limited responses though, right?
You can thumbs up, you can thumbs down. Let's see. We have this whole big thread here, and we didn't really actually say anything to each other. We just sent
emojis and stickers.
Let's see if I can respond to stickers with yeah, I can. So you can show my screen. So here, Leo, before he sent me this pup emoji, and I thought that was so cute. But all these rest of these things he sent me, I didn't think were so cute. For example, I don't want to say, "Oh, so cute" to that he sent me. But
my head, not my body.
I wanted to specifically say that I liked this, so I long pressed it. And then I give it a thumbs up. I'll give it a heart because I love that pup emoji so much.
Now, if you do that, does that lock me out? Can I do puppy? So you did the ZZZZ. I mean, can I do and add another? How long can this go on? In other words,
I don't know.
I see your heart.
That.
I see your heart.
Okay, can you
long press? Yeah, I can do ha. Now, is that going to add? Oh no, it's on top of your heart.
Yes,
that's kind of mean.
So then I would.
But
see
it looks
that
like the heart's still there.
Under there. Yeah, you can have sticker wars with people so that you can comment in sticker wars.
Interesting. But you can kind of see that there was something under there. As long as we're in messages, let me show a tip here. This is a really cool one. Groups of messages have time and day when it started, like this conversation, this silly sticker conversation. But the problem is if it goes on for a while, as it has, the time and day stamps are no longer really valid. I never knew this, and I found this in the research that we did for the show. Watch this. Hold it and slide it to the right, and you'll get a timestamp.
Oh,
did you know that? I mean,
no.
This is an example of what's weird about lots of things in iOS 10. They're not obvious. How would you know to do that? I don't know how you would know. At least, you might try to swipe because swiping to the left sometimes allows you to delete things. But who would say, oh, yeah, well, you want to see what time, what time in the middle of the night you got that text message? Swipe it over a little bit to the left. Notice it doesn't do a date because it's still all under the heading at the very top, the date. But we started this conversation at 1:09, and that one was 15 minutes later. And otherwise, you wouldn't know that, right? That was 1:30.
Yeah.
So I think that's a handy little
Yeah, that is a good
tip.
sticker tip. All right. So
not just stickers, anything in messages. Yeah. Swipe left to see the date.
To see the date.
And time of that message.
Which could be good. The kids these days, they like the iMessage is very important to them. Like, oh, how late was that person?
Right.
That could mean a whole,
what?
It
happens to me all the time. Like, when did that come in? Now, I'm not sure. I have to do some research. If that time is when you received it or when it was sent. And I'll have to do some research, or maybe somebody knows that and can let us know.
That is. Okay, so your tip is clearing all notifications.
So you want another one? All right. This is one of the complaints I've had for years, ever since Apple added notifications to iOS, was that I, get a lot of notifications. I have to, one by one, swipe them to clear them, right? Well, with iOS 10, if you 3D touch, that's not a long touch, that's a press, at the topmost X on your notifications, you can clear them all at once. Ooh. Now, I remember we talked about this, and you said, well, I just let them fall off because they only last a couple of days, but I don't want days and days of notifications, so I really like that. Clear all notifications. So you 3D touch the X, the clear button at the top, and it'll give you the choice to clear all notifications.
So on your iPad, you can long touch it too. So,
Does it work with a long touch?
Yeah, here, if you show my
Nice.
screen, you can see
Nice.
that it took a while. Like I definitely wouldn't, I just had to.
Long touch.
Wait, okay, so then you have to long touch it and clear.
No, that's different. That's only going to clear the day.
That's only going to clear the day?
That one's been around for a while.
Goodness.
So that's because you don't have 3D touch on the iPad. And that's what we
sad.
mentioned at the beginning. Some of these techniques require 3D touch. In other words, a 6S or later.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you have to go now one by one through all your notifications day by day. I find that annoying.
Do you think Apple does that? Like gives like an extra sort of killer feature to the newer phones so that
No,
so
you
that
can't.
have to
The
upgrade?
problem, and by the way, a lot of these tips, the overarching tip is try 3D touch everywhere. But how would you do that on a non 3D touch device? It gives you what you've got now is 3 different things. Tap it does one thing. Tap and long hold might do another one, and tap and press hard might do a third thing. I don't know how you do it without 3D touch to have 3 different choices.
Because we talked about that when you were gone, because you can adjust the flashlight. Did you know this?
Yeah, I love that. Here, show us that.
Okay, so it's only
I use that
on
all the time.
the phone, so you can see my
In the
phone.
control center.
So, but then you can 3D touch it on mine.
We can't see a thing.
Oh, you can't see. Oh, okay, here we go. There we go. So that's 3D touch.
Instead of
and I
just
do
turning the
bright,
flashlight
light.
off and on, if you 3D touch it, you can choose bright, medium, and low.
But if you don't have 3D touch, if you have an old phone, you can't do that.
can't do it,
You
right.
can't do that.
Right.
See, that seems to me, why can't you long touch? Why can't they set a
Oh,
feature
I
for
see.
long
You're right.
touch?
You're right. If there's no long touch, you should be able to do what you do with 3. Maybe also because it would be confusing.
I think they just want people to upgrade.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
3D touch is cool.
You should.
You
All
should.
right. So that's a good tip. Mine is about Siri. So Siri can do all kinds of new things in iOS 10. We could sit here for hours and hours and tell you all of them, but you can just ask Siri yourself. So you could just ask her,
I particularly like this tip, and you'll see why.
what can you do?
She's
And
not
here
on camera.
are
You have to
some
put her over
things
there,
that
yeah.
you can ask me.
Yeah.
So I can.
Scroll down.
Oh, that-
Is there a
so-
podcast choice in there?
There is a podcast, Play Podcasts.
Oh. I thought she was going to say listen to TWiT.
Oh, well, you
There it
could
is. There it is. There it is.
search for radio. What? No, where does it say?
Somewhere in there it used to be. Oh, maybe they took us out.
Or was that? Oh,
And was it in podcasts? Or maybe it's... Oh, never mind.
was it an Overcast or something?
No. Oh, well. Maybe.
Was it because you used it to listen to TWiT?
No. A number of
wasn't-
people have
said,
over the last few months
"What
tweeted
did
me.
you
Did you
do
know
to-"
if you ask Siri, she'll suggest listening to TWiT? On that text
What did
right
you
there.
do to Siri?
I must have. Well, I have called her kind of some names
Yeah.
lately. I yell at her a lot. Do you
So-
yell at Siri?
Yes, absolutely.
I yell at her all the time. In fact, Walt Mossberg, in his Recode or Vox column, he writes for both, said Siri's unnecessarily dumb, and Apple is kind of falling behind with Siri. And I can't say I disagree with him. Apple's got to step up here and make Siri better.
They did just hire an AI person. Ina Fried reported that in Recode
Sure, that
this
should
morning.
fix it. Just hire somebody.
They just
Apple.
threw some more money at the problem.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. I should do a tip now, huh? How about bedtime?
How about it?
Is
it
bedtime is bedtime an issue in your house?
Yes,
It is.
You mean for me or
Yeah,
for my children?
in
Yeah,
general.
like getting to bed at the right time. Yes,
And we know that the best thing you could do is to go to bed and wake up at a consistent time Monday through Friday. You wouldn't even need or actually all the time if you could do it. You wouldn't need an alarm clock. So they've added it. If you go to the clock app, there's a new button at the bottom. There was always world clock, alarm, stopwatch timer. What's this? There's a little bed icon. Bedtime. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day are keys to healthy sleep. Bedtime can help. What time would you like to wake up? 7. Which days of the week should the alarm go off? Well, it says you should do it every day unless but I'm not going to sleep in. How many hours? It doesn't ask you when you should wake up. It says how many hours do you need? Most adults need between 7 and 8. I'm an old man, so I'm going to say 9. And when would you like a bedtime reminder? This is even better. So instead of just... It's not an alarm to go to bed, but it's going to say 15 minutes before or 20 or whatever. And then what do you want to hear when you wake up? And I have to say they've really improved the alarm clock sounds. Can you hear those? I don't hear them. Maybe they're not playing. There you go.
Oh.
I like birdsong myself. These are much less intrusive. Do you not hear that?
I heard one.
Huh. Hear that one? It's very quiet.
It's lovely. I love those sounds.
I don't know. That is a terrible alarm if that's the sound. That's pretty. So these aren't alarms. These are more like, Leo, you said you wanted to wake up now. Maybe it'd be a good idea to open your eyes and face the day.
We should start iOS today like that every time.
Kind of relaxing.
I feel like I should talk quietly.
Anyway, did you know about that or did I?
I think that when you set up, it asked me if I wanted to do that, and I was like,
you
no,
said
I don't want you to
absolutely
tell me what time to
no
go to bed.
circumstances. You'll also be able to see your sleep bars, so you'll know, And that requires some sort of tracker. But if you have a tracker, then it'll know.
Huh.
Neat, huh?
Yes.
Look at that. Bedtime.
Good. I wish I had a consistent bedtime.
No, it's good. It's good for everybody. Yeah, you should.
Okay, so you probably already know that you can swipe up on your phone or iPad to get, like I just showed you with the flashlight, and you can get the camera and you can get sound and all that stuff. But if you really want to go to your camera quickly, you can just swipe right on the lock screen. So,
Really?
So let me go to my lock screen,
Swipe
and then
right on
you
the lock
swipe
screen.
right, and there's your camera.
Oh, it's just right there.
Yep.
What happens if you swipe left? Anything? Yeah, you get your little, notifications and widgets. You get widgets.
Even on the lock screen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get your widgets.
You get your widgets.